All right, so here's my plan. I meet a girl from Australia, right? But she has to be allergic to something. It's very important that she's allergic to something. Let's just go ahead and say she's allergic to fish, right? We're in a loving relationship. And of course, we're going to travel. We both love to travel and we're going to go see the world. You know, the likes of Disney World, Paris, Paris. And then, I don't know, maybe dabble in a little bit of Norway. I'll try out Norway. Sure. Never been. Would love to go visit. So me and my Australian mate, we would go to Norway and, we like to try the best cuisines. We go to very expensive restaurants. We spare no expense. Sure, our relationship is rich, but so are our pockets, okay? Economically, we're doing well, the two of us. She more than I. I'm not pulling my weight. But I'll marry rich. I don't need to be the breadwinner. I'll just eat the bread. So we go to Norway, we go to the nicest restaurant, right? Waiter comes out, he goes, hello. This is my Norwegian accent. Hello, guys. We got pockets full of kroner. That's, Norwegian money right there. We got a pocket full of kroner. We get approached by this guy. He goes, hello. What can I get started for you? And we're like, just a water for now. It's good. He's like, all right, do you need some time to look over the menu? We're like, yeah, but what would you recommend? You're the native here. Let us know. What do you think our palates would be pleased by? And he's like, oh my God, we have a great special today. What do you think? You want to try it? And, I look to my right and I say, well, you know what? Special food for a special lady. Lay it on us, huh? How does that sound? And she, she's all about trying new things. That's why I love her so much. She's always up to trying the new thing. And she goes, yes, let's do the special. So the waiter goes, great. Awesome. We have an amazing special for you guys. Let me go bring it out. Walks away. We're like, this is great. Oh my God, we're going to get the special. Like you can get whatever's on the menu. They have a little icon next to the thing that, a little image that shows you, oh, this is the place's favorite. But we're like, no, this is a bespoke experience. This is a thing you can't get all the time. We're going to get the special of the day. Waiter comes back, 2 plates, lays them down in front of us. And of course, they have the little silver, hoods on them, the little lids. And he goes and lifts the lids and voila, seared salmon. And of course, like I said, she's allergic to fish. So she looks at the fish and she goes, Norway am I eating this? And then the waiter goes, yep, that's the country you're in, and enjoy. Get it? Because she's allergic to fish. So she was saying, no way, I'm eating that. But she's also Australian. So it sounded like Norway, the country we were in. So yeah, I'm going to meet someone from Australia and we're going to carry a beautiful life together, and I hope that happens. Again, has to be allergic to fish. Anyways, I'll let you know if that pans out. But it's been raining a lot. It's been real stormy in California. And you know what? I got to say, I agree with everyone else. This is good for us. We need the rain. It's true. I have a router, Wi-Fi, about it. I have a router and it's hydro powered. So this is really important that water gets here. I actually have one of those giant wheels. What are they called? I don't know what they're called, but the giant wheels that water keeps hitting it and it keeps spinning around. That's actually how my place is powered. Not just my router, all the lights too, all this light, you're seeing making this mug appear. Yeah, it's all hydro powered. So I have to admit, yes, it is good that we have rain. And sometimes I go outside and I feel like I dry up too much. California, so dry, the people and the weather. So I think the rain is good for us. And we're in a drought, that's affecting my day to day. Every day I wake up and I think, God damn it, my quality of life is in the gutter because I know that California is in a drought and it ruins my day to day. It really does. So I have to say, I agree with everyone. This is good for us. It is good for us. But why do people, why do people say that? Isn't that interesting? Like when people say this is good for us, I just want one person to be like, why? Not to like call them out. I'm genuinely curious. The people that are like, rain, this is good for us. We need this. Why? What are you saying? Why are you saying that? Like, it's good. then I get it's good too. But is the only explanation that we're in a drought? Because that's just our natural state. That's like if someone had like really, really dry skin and then they use lotion, but every time they use lotion, they're like, this is good for me. I'm like, yeah, no, that's what lotion does. You have to say it every time. I get California's dry. Every time it rains, makes it more wet. You don't have to say, this is good. Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah, that's why. Yeah, no, of course. That's like if you got a cut and you went to the doctor. It's a deep cut. And the doctor starts stitching it up. Doctor goes, this is good for you. I'm like, yeah, no, I get that. That's why I didn't just want stitches. I don't think anyone just wants stitches. I'm not like Paddington out here, I'm not like corduroy rabbit or what is that? I don't know. But no, the water is good for us. It's good for us, the rain. But is it? I mean, it is. But why are you saying that? Do you have some hidden agenda? Do you have some plants you need to grow? I don't know. I have to say, the personal benefit I get when it rains is that I don't have to wash my car. It does a really good job of cleaning it. And when you go to Quick Quack or whatever your car wash of choice is, they always offer you the 3 packages. They go basic, premium, deluxe. And then I don't wash my car very often, so I get the best one because I'm only washing my car like once or twice a year. I'm like, let's go all out, right? And then I wash my car. I drive home and I get out of my car and I look at it. I'm like, there's still stuff in places. Like, those bars on top of a car where you put like surfboards and other things that show you other people that you have personality. I don't even surf. I just put surfboards on top of my car so other people are like, wow, look at that guy. No wonder he's so tan. He gets out there and surfs. He shreds the gnar, as they say. As they say. Again, I don't say that because I don't surf. I don't shred the gnar. But I am pretty gnarly. Gnarly is actually a bad word. If you look it up, it's like not a good, it's not like an inappropriate word. It just has a bad connotation. We say it in a very like bro surfer way, like gnarly, but I think it's bad. Gnarly is like oh man, that was gnarly. Like if a test was difficult, it was tumultuous, it really puts you through the ringer, you'd be like, that was gnarly. And it'd be bad. But if waves are gnarly, that's awesome. That's radical, bro. I don't fucking know. But I have the surfboards, so I do know if anyone asks. I don't, but I do. Okay? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, when you put the bars on top of the car, the premium car wash, the deluxe ones, or whatever the fuck I said, under those bars, it's still always dirty. But the nice thing about rain is it's just fucking berating you, Every angle. It's it's like my car's in fucking prison the way it's getting hit from all angles, and it does a really thorough job. Nothing quite does it like Mother Nature, So that's the one nice thing I have to say. If my car is dirty, maybe I'll join the people and say, yeah, no, it's raining, which is good. We need this because maybe my car has some gunk on it, and I get that out, really get the elbow grease in there. Get some wins. Yeah, there have been wins. That's the thing. Rain, sure, it's not that bad. Maybe you got to go a little slower on freeways. That's fine. Have you ever been on a freeway, though, when it's raining? I follow the speed limit when it's raining because I'm like, I don't want to risk hydroplaning or anything. But you ever, like, you're going the speed limit when it's raining and then someone just zooms past you and you're like, what the fuck are you? Do you have no worry that you could just, I don't know. I guess people are just confident. I'm not. When it's raining, I don't risk anything. I'm like, you just lose control of your car. You run that chance. And the person that just zoomed past me, where are they getting to faster than me? They're getting there, 5-10 minutes early? That's okay. I left early. I'm going to get there on the time I want to get there. I'm not going to risk, this car going, whoa, like a fucking cartoon character. So I can drive the speed limit when it's raining. But the thing is, right now it's raining and it's windy, which blows. Why do people listen to this? Anyways, it blowing a lot of wind. I've gotten a fair share of friends sending me just pictures of trees falling down. And I'm like, wow, okay. I guess I understand what all the bark is about. trees. Again, why are you listening to this? But I've been seeing a lot of trees fall over. Even I woke up this morning, some construction going on around I can see it. I don't know how to describe. I can see construction, but they got these big metal fences. Metal fence just topped over. There's a sign out in the distance I saw today, just snapped in half. It was incredible. Also, for the past week, my whole just like every room I'm in, it just feels it's like there's someone farting really loud. It's a constant just noise. It's very weird. It's very unsettling. But it became normal. After a while, the white noise, it kind of just blends in. You're like, well, that's just what I'm going to hear now. But the one thing that was fucking weird, I think it was on Tuesday morning. I lied. On Thursday morning, I woke up and my whole room was shaking. And I'm not being hyperbolic. I'm not being like, oh, yeah, it was really loud. No, it literally felt like it was shaking. And it was so interesting to see. You're not met with things like that very often. But it's nice to take a second in that moment and think about, well, how am I reacting? And the way I reacted when I woke up and the whole room was shaking violently was I woke up and I was like, well, I hope nothing bad happens. That's what I thought. I didn't get up and look outside oh, did someone's fucking I was going to make a Wizard of Oz reference, but I fucked it up. So now I can't. I was going to say, oh, did someone, tap their heels together and now I'm being thrown away in a tornado? But that was at the end that she tapped. She did it at the end to go home. She didn't do it to leave. It's a dumb play anyways, I've seen it. I've seen a theatrical performance of it many times. I saw Wicked in Europe somewhere. That was cool, but it's a dumb play. Who's watching Wizard of Oz? Anyways. Yeah, you would think you'd get up and get your bearings straight and be like, okay, what are we going to do? We're in a situation right now. But no, what I did in a time of rumbling was I just laid in bed and was like, I just hope this doesn't turn bad. That's what I did. There was there's a room connected and it has these big windows. There's a room connected to my bedroom and it has these big windows and I was like, I should go check if they're okay. But I didn't. I just laid in bed and just was like, I hope they're good, because if they're not, what am I going to do? Huh? I'm just going to have that now. So I chose to Schrodinger's windows it, I was like, if they're broken, they are. If they're not, they're not, but I'm not going to find out. If I don't leave my room, they're not broken. So I'll just not leave my room. I won't get the diagnosis because, I'm not going to leave my bed. And I was like, wow, is this really who I am? It was a really self-reflective moment because I was like, wow, things are happening. And I'm just like, yeah, it'll be okay. And I went back to sleep. I didn't even it wasn't like I just laid there for a while. I was just like, yeah, the whole room is shaking. I'm going to go back to bed. I got work in a little bit, a couple minutes, 30 minutes. Let me just get a couple more ZZZs in, you know what I'm saying? Shout out Zed. But yeah, crazy weather recently. But it's weird because one day it's okay. And then the next day it's it sounds like the big bad wolf is blowing on you from the outside. And it's like, hey, fairy tale, shut the fuck up, Anyways, what do we want to talk about this week? What I want to talk about is people getting married. I want more people to get married. It is true. I get it, okay? Marriages, sometimes, half of them end up in divorce, half of them not. I'm rooting on the half that's not. I'm rooting on the half that's not because I want them to go then, be in a marriage for so long that they grow sick of each other. That's what I'm rooting for. I want people to grow sick of each other, but I don't want things to break, That's what I want. I want people to take it so far that they find each other boring. I want more of that because I've heard this story, that people are like, yeah, we've been in a relationship for 6 years. 7 years. And now at dinner, we just sit across from each other and we just stare at each other. We don't say anything because there's nothing to talk about. And it's really dry and boring. I want more of that. I think that's good for the world. I think people should all get to a place where they just shut the fuck up. No, I'm kidding. But it's really interesting to me to see people that are in relationships for X amount of years say, we talked about it all. Because I'm like, no, you didn't. It's impossible to talk about it all. You just don't give a fuck what the other person across from you thinks about a thing. I'm so curious. That's why I ask dumb questions like, what's your favorite Cheez-It flavor and why? Go into detail because I want to know. I want to see how someone traverses that question, how someone navigates that. It's interesting to me. Sure, I get it. Hearing about someone's day-to-day is boring, but that's been boring to me from day one. I get that. I get that stuff gets boring, where it's like another day at the office. You don't need to hear about the person's day at the office. They could tell you a new story about what that bitch did across the aisle, but besides that, there's nothing really to talk about, right? Spill the tea, then fucking move on, right? But it's the other things. It's the little things that I want to hear more about. I don't see how you could ever get sick of hearing those things. Like, if you were an ice cream flavor, which one would you be? That's interesting because you want to see what your partner, the creative direction they take with that. Then again, your partner could be like, why the fuck are you asking me? Shut the fuck up. I didn't get in this relationship to play fucking 20 questions every night. Just shut the fuck up. How about that, Gauruv? I'll be like, okay, that's fair. That's I get it. I get that I can be too much sometimes. But it's bold for people to be like, yeah, we ran out of things to talk about. And the reason I even started thinking about this is because I've come across some people that think they have other people figured out. And it makes me feel very uncomfortable. And it's interesting because some people have revealed to me that they're like, I got you figured out. I'm like, what the fuck does that even mean? Like, for example, a couple weeks ago, maybe a month or so ago, a lady told me, you're really serious, aren't you? And I said, yep. Yeah, no, I don't joke very much. So, yep. And she's like, yeah, you don't, huh? Which is either a giant misread or the most creative way to say I'm not funny. But I just went along with it because I'm like, what am I going to say to this? I'm not a serious person. But it was interesting because it showed me that person knows fucking jack shit about me. I thought they knew a little bit about me, and then they said that. I was like, oh, so you just don't get what's going on. But in their head, they have me figured out. They have me pinned. I'm on the corkboard because they're like, he's a serious guy. And to them, that's the thing, But I don't get how you could ever do that. To me, I will never assume a person is away. Like, I have ideas about how someone acts, but I will never, ever, anyone in my entire life, I will never say I have them figured out. Because then where do you go from there? And that's what these relationships run into, right? These people get to a point where they're like, I have them figured out. So what the fuck do we need to do here? But you don't. You don't have anyone. You can never have anyone figured out because humans are so complex. They're so interesting. And I really hate it. It's not that I hate it. It like sucks the wind out of me when I hear people say, yeah, no, I get them. No, you don't. You just don't care to know anymore. The thing is, when someone says, I got this person figured out, it's the same thing as when someone spoils a movie, When someone spoils a movie to you, you lose a lot of incentive to watch it. Because the movie, part of the experience is being like, where is this shit going to go? This is so interesting. But when someone spoils it, now you know where this shit's going to go. So now you're like, do I even want to do this? That's what humans do with each other sometimes. They're like, now I get the end of the movie. I don't need to dig any further. But I'm like, no, stop it. Just treat it like this movie's never going to end, okay? People spoil other people to themselves. But you have to move forward in life like there's always a twist that's going to happen. Because that's the thing. Humans are always twisting. Humans are fucking 99 cents at Taco Bell, okay? They're cinnamon twist. Or actually, I am. Some people might be a vanilla twist or a chocolate twist. But I'm a cinnamon twist. I'm not that cheap, though, okay? I'm $2 at least. I'll double the price. But people, when they're like, I got them figured out, I'm like, come on. Yeah, that's why there's nothing else to learn about them, because you've decided that I know how the rest of this goes. But you don't. If you just kept watching the movie, if you cared to watch the rest of the movie, you would realize there's so many more twists. So just stay engaged and don't just be like, I got it. That's the worst, motherfucker. When you're like telling a story or telling a joke and they're like, oh, I get how this is going to go. I'm like, no, you don't. Shut the fuck up, sit down and listen, okay? Don't you hate that shit when you're like telling a joke and someone's like, oh, I get it? No, you don't. Don't even, what are you doing? Even if you did get it, well, now what are we supposed to do, huh? I abandon, I eject Aceto out of this fucking shit? Or do you want me to keep going? And it's pointless. It's futile. What do you want me to do here, huh? So that's what I'm saying. I think I want more people to be in relationships because I enjoy it. I enjoy people being sick of each other or deciding that they're sick of each other, that they're like, I got it. I know these roads, but no one does. That's one of the things that I hate a lot. People that are like, oh, I got this other person figured out. I'm like, no, you may be one dimensional, but that doesn't mean everyone the fuck else is. And so that annoys me. It annoys me the same way it annoys me when someone spoils a movie. When someone's like, my spouse, they do that. I'm like, yeah, they do that. But then they're like, I know everything they do. It's, no, you don't. People are so fucking weird. Or maybe they're not. And I'm just giving everyone too much credit. Maybe some people are so simple that you can figure them out. But everyone's so fucking weird. People do weird shit. Just washing your hands. There are so many different things that people do. They can like wet their hands first. They can either get the soap first. Those are the obvious ones. But then, do they get in between the fingers? Some people, they just kind of put it on the fronts of their hands and they're like, well, I don't need to do the back. I didn't touch anything on the back. And it's like, that's what you think? That's so interesting. I'm not going to say right or wrong, but it's different. And that's what I think people, I don't know why they don't want to discover that about someone else. If it was someone I loved, I would want to know all the fucking weird things. And I know that humans are so fucking weird that you could never learn every weird thing they do. But that would be what makes it so fun. Now, I've never been in a relationship. Let me fucking disclaimer myself right now. I'm speaking from a place of ignorance. But I can only imagine that when I'm in a relationship, I would never get tired of this person because there's infinite things you can learn about them. And only as people grow older and older, it becomes even more interesting because they have more life behind them. Also, people change. When people are like, I got them figured out, I'm like, but in a year, that's a whole new fucking person. I don't talk to someone for like 2 weeks, and then in my head, I'm like, well, I don't know anything about them. That's also, I think, a problem, why I have a problem calling people friends, because if I don't talk to a friend, quote unquote, in like a week or two, next time I see them, I'm like, well, you just had like 14 days of life. You could potentially be a different person. A person in one day could change so much. So much can happen in a second that it could transform in a person entirely. That I could never claim to ever know a person truly. Yet there's all these boring motherfuckers out there that are like, I know my spouse, and we're sick of each other. So we just look at each other's stupid faces while we eat soup fucking 6 p.m. and then we go watch our little Netflix show. And then we go to sleep. And I talk shit about them in my group chat. Shut the fuck up. I am so... But I look forward to it. I want more of that. That's an exciting thing to me. That people do that. It's very interesting. See, that in itself is interesting to me. That people could be that sure of themselves. That's also a really scary thing to me. The people that are so sure of themselves. That's why I will always claim to be an idiot. Because I'm like, there's so many things I don't know. How could I ever claim to know anything? There's that pie chart where it's like the things you know, things you don't know, and then the things you don't know, you don't know. That is such a big fucking slice of the pie, and I love pie. So I would never claim to be like, I ate the whole pie because there's so much of it I don't know, man. But that's the thing, there's so many things you don't know. You don't know that you don't know them. What the fuck am I even talking about now? To quote myself from earlier, why does anyone listen to this? But it's always a bummer. It's such a bummer, man, when people are like, yeah, I know everything about them. Because I'm like, did you give up or did they? Like, did you just stop searching? Or have they plateaued? Is there nothing really interesting about them? Because that could be possible. Some people give up early. You know that old cliche? It's a weird cliche. I mean, it's not. It's just corny. There's like, some people die twice. You know, the day their body stops working and the day they stop trying or whatever. You know that fucking thing that all those motivation guys online say. But yes, it's I don't know. Sorry. I've run into some people in the past year or whatever, and then I don't know, they're like they just claim to know people, and I'm like, you could never know a person truly. Even a person in themselves, like me, I don't know me. I don't know who I'm gonna be tomorrow. I don't really even understand who I've been up until this point. So how the fuck could I even claim that I know me? I know me the best out of anyone, but I will never know me truly. And other people, the version they know of me, that's the version they know. But they don't know me. That's the version of me. Whatever. So I just say, assume that you don't have anyone figured out at all, and life will always be interesting. Or don't. That's the nice thing about life. Everything is always a one thing or it's not. At a very simple level, life is binary. It's either a way or it's not that way. If you think about it, right? Like pudding, you ever go and buy pudding from a store? I haven't in a while, but it's something I'd look forward to doing this week. You go to pudding and you look at all the flavors, and the flavors are either tapioca or they're not tapioca. That is every single flavor of pudding. It is tapioca flavored or it's not tapioca flavored. I'm right. There's not, I know I said I don't like when people are sure of themselves, but that is an objectively true statement. All pudding is either tapioca or it's not. And that's what some people think of humans. They're like, well, they're tapioca pudding, because I haven't tried all the different types of pudding, and that's what they're closest to, so they're just that. I need to move on. Sorry. I don't even know what the fuck I'm saying at this point. I've been really into, well, I haven't recently, but I know I want to be really into pastries. I really, really enjoy pastries. And whether it's like a fucking croissant or I'll throw a donut in there. Okay, donuts count. I don't know if we want to have this conversation, but donuts are pastries. Anything that you can get at like a bakery or whatever, or like a donut shop, whatever. I don't know. I like shops with pastries. That's the only reason I like cities, because of pastries. That's the only reason I would want to go to a city, is because I want to try fucking dope pastries. But I don't live in a city. So I go to grocery stores and I buy donuts from there. And I bought like 4 donuts from Rayleigh's, and I came back home and I ate them, and not good. Not good. I knew that they're not the highest quality when you get them from a grocery store, but I think I have more of a sophisticated palate now. And now I hold pastries to a higher standard, and grocery store donuts, D tier. And then, there's a Krispy Kreme. What's the other one? Dunkin'. Those are just like, okay. Krispy Kreme is like, it's good. I like Krispy Kreme, but it's not exactly a donut. It's more sugar than donut. And then fucking Dunkin's like cakey. It's a lot of bread. So I'm on a hunt. There's a couple of locations in California, a place called Bad Bakers, and they're not great donuts. They're more gimmicky because they're like crazy flavors. Like one time I got a flavor from Bad Bakers called couch potato, and it was just a normal, like, dough nut with like vanilla cream on it, and then crushed potato chips, pretzels, mini marshmallows, and then drizzled with chocolate. And that's called the couch potato. It was something like that. And it was okay, but it was so gimmicky. And it's not good. It's not a good donut. It's just like a thing that you could go and buy, and then you like take a picture and you post it on Instagram, and then you're vying for some interaction, and someone's like, oh my God, where'd you get that? And you're like, I got it from Bad Baker. And they're like, no way. Oh my God, I have to try that sometime. And then when they go, hopefully they send you a picture. And now that's how you build relationships, because you both talked about a thing, then one person tries it, and then they send you a picture, and you're like, oh my God, Holy shit. You did the thing that you said you were going to do. And you're like, I know, right? We talked about this and now I'm doing it. And you're like, oh my God. The human experience is so crazy, isn't it? We talked about a thing and now it's happening. Did we manifest this? That's another example, right? Everyone is buying a donut, and if they're not, they're not. That's every single person in the world. Every single person in the world is buying a donut, or they're not. There's a show called Palooka. It's from 1934. Apparently, you can watch it on, I think, Sling TV, which is just what the fuck. How many streaming services are there at this point? But Palooka is a show from 1934, and I thought about it, and the next generations will have so many shows and movies to pick from. Because I looked at this show from 1934 and I was like, I'm not going to watch that because it's so shitty. But now things are such good quality that even I think from 20 to 30 years from now, we can watch a show from today and be like, oh, this is enjoyable. This is nice. But for me, like any movie or show that's from before like 2005, I can't watch. Outside of like Star Wars, anything before 2005, it looks bad. I can't watch it. Like my friend really likes Always Sunny. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. He really likes that show. And he's like, you got to watch it. You got to watch it so we can talk about it. I'm like, I watched the first two episodes, but it's like, it looks old. And I know the later seasons, because I think they're still making them, right? It looks modern and those are cool, but I want to watch it all so it makes sense. And I can't watch the first few seasons. It just looks bad. But the thing is, people, in the next decades, they'll be able to watch TV and media from like today's age, YouTube videos, movies, stuff like that. And it'll look good. It'll still hold up. Like we're now in the age of like YouTube videos from like over a decade ago look nice. I still watch. There's a series called Jake and Amir, and it ran, 2000, I don't know, like 8 to like 2012 or something. It still looks good. I still watch it like very frequently. I've seen every single episode probably at this point, and I just keep watching them because I like watching them. But like movies from before 2005, I can't watch them. It looks bad. So I'm envious. I'm envious of the future because someone in like 2070 could be like, oh, I'm going to watch The Office. That's a thing they can do. They have such a giant catalog they can pick from. For me, I really have like 17 years of media to pick from. It's a finite thing. I'm finding myself like running out of comedy movies to watch because I'm like, fuck, there's only so many I could watch. But like in 50 years, God, what a catalog these people will have, So envious. That's going to be so cool. But for me, no. I know I could watch Palooka from 1934, but who the fuck is going to buy Sling TV? Huh? A few weeks ago, I mean, I'm still doing it now, but a month or so ago, I was pretty heavy into furniture shopping. Now, pretty much a lot of things are taken care of, but I noticed something furniture shopping that's a very unique situation to be in. When you're furniture shopping, you walk into the store and immediately someone like attaches themselves to you. That's usually how it works because they make commission, right? They sell you the thing, then they get a cut, I guess. I don't know. They're salespeople. And it was interesting, the person that attached themselves to us, they showed me a piece. It was a dresser. And I looked at the dresser and as I was walking up to it, they were like, yeah, we actually have that one at our house. And I was like, what are you doing? What are you doing to me here, huh? Why are you putting me in such a bad position? I didn't say this out loud, but internally I was like, what the fuck? Why'd you say that? Because now I'm looking at this thing and I did not like it. It looked bad. But how do I say that? Oh, man. Yeah, how about that one? Oh, this one? Ooh. Yeah, I don't know who would buy that. Okay, well, I have it in my home, and my kids love it. And I'm like, then what? Why'd you put me in that situation? It's like, why would you fucking... I know they have to show me everything they got, but like, don't tell me, just keep that inside. Maybe that sweetened it by them being like, well, I co-sign it so much, so hard that I put that shit in my own place of residence. And then maybe that's supposed to sell me on it. But to me, I was like, God damn it. Don't. You're putting me in a losing position. Because either I buy it and then now we're matching. And it's like, God damn it. I know that now there's at least one other person in the world that has this thing I have. When you buy stuff, you can always lie to yourself and be like, well, I'm the only person that has this. Obviously, that's not true. Pretty much everything you own, someone else owns, except like maybe art. And that's why we gotta keep buying human-made art, okay, people? Don't buy AI art. Also, with the AI art thing, let's just go off on that tangent. I talked about it last week. There were a couple of points I missed that I just want to say, like, we've decided that we want to automate everything. That's like the destination we've decided we're going to. And it's weird because like on the route there, we're like, I don't like this. It's almost like if I was to be like, I'm going to go to this place, and on the way to the place, I understand that there is a tolling station. And so as I'm driving to the place, I get stopped at the tolling station. Person's like $5. And I'm like, no. They're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I'm not doing that. And they're like, but you knew this was a thing, right? And I was like, yeah, but I'm not going to do it. It's like, but then what the fuck? You knew where you were going, right? Why don't you have the money on you? You knew you were going to get here. So it's the same thing with AI. We're trying to automate everything. So now we're at a point where we're like, okay, now automate art. And then everyone's like, why the fuck are we automating art? I'm like, didn't you see this was going to happen? The destination we have put in is automate everything. So obviously on the way to get there, we have to pass through automating art, right? And then the other thing about like, go to our libraries, buy our art. But then, you're also preaching to the same people that use fucking Amazon, huh? They want their shirt the next day. You can't convince these people of anything. Anyways, that's my little thing about AI art. And then also, remember, I talked about sunny side up eggs. I forgot. I even wrote it in my notes and I just didn't mention it. I talked about sunny side up eggs being very ceremonial. Sunny side up eggs have the same energy of like, when they bring out that like volcano dessert with all the sparklers at the top. That's what a sunny side up egg feels like to me. I forgot to mention that. So I don't know how I got on the AI art thing, but the whole furniture thing where it's like, oh yeah, take a look at that. I actually own that. I'm like, well, now don't. When you're furniture shopping, you're very like honest. You're like, well, not crazy about the color. Oh, don't like the size. The design, it's a little old. And this design was old. I'm like, when the fuck was this from? Huh? Is this when Palooka came out? They made this fucking shit? I think I saw this in an episode of Palooka. What the fuck? But I was trying to be very nice. I was like, I don't know if it would go with the color of the wall. I tried to make it about me. I'm like, yeah, it's not right. It's not you, it's me. I don't have the infrastructure to support that kind of art. Really, the problem is I'm not good enough for you. You're too good for me. And that's why we have to split. Anyways. I feel like I'm really struggling to find things to talk about on this podcast without sounding like a mumbling idiot. But then again, why is this a thought I'm having at episode 81? That's been this whole show, right? Anyways, I know I have like, 5-ish more minutes left in this podcast, but I don't have anything else to say. So I'll just leave you here. Okay. I didn't buy a Happy Meal last week. I went to a few dinners, so I never got the chance to buy a Happy Meal. I'll do it this week. How about that? We got a long weekend coming up. I'll get a Happy Meal this week. You can I promise you. I promise you. And I'll leave you with a message. Ask people random questions because everyone is interesting and no one's boring enough to figure out. That shit sucks, man. That's such a cop-out to be like, I figured someone out. No, you didn't. Fuck you. People are like science, This is one of the reasons I like math is because there's a right answer. But life is science. It's not math. Science every year is being more and more perfected. We come up with hypotheses and then we're like, this is right today. But then like down the road, we find out this shit is completely wrong. We disprove theories. Isn't that what happened? We thought the fucking Earth was the center of the universe, and then few is using that word lightly, but a few years later we were like, oh, actually it revolves around the sun. This shit changes a lot, okay? But that's why I like math, because I know that, okay, yes, this and this is this 100% of the time. You can't change that. But with science, it's changing, and people treat people like fucking numbers and math, and it's like, well, because of 1 + 1, 2, and that's why a relationship is a 0. And it's like, you can make it more. You can multiply, you dummy. But yeah, you got to treat relationships like science and always be improving on that shit, okay? Introduce more factors and variables. Do more testing. Don't just be okay with 1 + 1. Again, never been in a relationship. Who the fuck am I to talk? So I guess I'll just shut up. I'll talk at you next week. Okay? Bye.